Yo, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Pnoid News, man. Listen, all right. So, I got a guy I like watching sometimes, from time to time. Aaron McIntyre. He just had Curtis Yarvin on the other day. It was great. You know what I'm saying? Spectacular thing. You know, I love Curtis Yarvin. You know what I'm saying? I love the way the guy's brain works. Like, there's some people when they meander, you know what I'm saying, and you let their brain work, they come up with amazing shit, right? But then keep this on it. There's this dude, Gio Pananatici, I think his last name is. I don't know, but I don't feel like going down in the description to get what that is. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I don't feel like doing it. Okay. So, but he's gonna give an explanation of postmodernism. And I want you to see how long it takes him to give one. And I want any of y'all go in the comment section when he's done talking and you tell me if you heard an explanation of what postmodernism is. All right. So look, we're gonna play this. Y'all enjoy, and then I'm gonna give you a really simple, basic breakdown because this isn't that fucking hard to do. All right. All right. Here we go.
All right, so Geo, we hear this term postmodern all the time, right? It's the postmodern Marxists are coming for us all. We've got to watch out for the postmodernists. A lot of people are very wary of this term because of how loose it is, how much it gets thrown around. But in this context, help us understand, what are we talking about when we talk about postmodernism?
Wow, that's like right off the bat with the softballs.
I try to make it as easy as possible for you. Nothing controversial, nothing that's going to require serious explanation, you know.
Exactly. I mean, that was a great commercial, by the way.
Thank you. Doing my best.
Yeah. I had a point actually about like how like the right wing like has been accused recently of like lifestyle stuff and how like that's a sign of like a fully integrated ideology that's sort of like, you know, underneath like the lack of a political project. What do you do next? It's like, you know, it becomes like it was a very left wing thing to worry about your health back in like the 80s and 90s. But now it's like the right wing. Now it's like the, you know, the Susan Sontag. What was the essay? I mean, I like Susan Sontag as a writer, but what was the essay like beauty is fascism or whatever, you know? But anyways, besides the point, postmodernism, like it's one of those like catch all terms, as we all know, that's sort of, I feel like even like back in the 1990s when a lot of, how shall I say it? A lot of like popular like critique was getting like popified, right? Poptimism. There you go. Like you had like discourse poptimism. You had like TV shows mentioning it, literary theory. But in the internet age, we see like a sort of like a total glut of like academic discourse. But that's like besides the point. So the best way to describe it, like that most people consider quote unquote postmodernism, is the lack of meta narratives, the sort of the eclipsing of like one world civilizational picture that constitutes the majority view of reality. Not like reality in terms of the real, but also the way that we construct a picture of what a civilization or truth or reality or so forth, so on and so forth looks like. That's like much more of the leotard postmodern condition take. I tend to like Frederick Jameson's work. If you read, you know, Postmodernism, The Logic of Late Capitalism, of course, he is a Marxist. And I think that there is a critique to be made in terms of like his emphasis on a lot of like his old school class dialectic Marxist type of stuff. You know, he's much closer to some certain writers of Compact than he is about, well, he's actually best friends with Slavoj Zizek. But Frederick Jameson, he talks about how because of the rise of print media that leads into techno capital, that leads into newer telecommunications technologies and sort of like newer forms of media, you have what he calls like the collapse of the high and low distinction in culture, right? Like that's another big facet of postmodernism. And that's the reason why I bring up like pop culture and how even the critique itself becomes like popified. That's very much like the hallmark of at least the classic like 80s and 90s, you know, definition of postmodernism, where now it's like something that is very highbrow is mixed in with something, and of course something very lowbrow is taken up into quote unquote high culture, and the distinction is sort of erased. So like, what will be a good example? the millennial video essayist that talks about Marvel films as if it's like Baudelaire critiquing Poussin, right? Like the paintings of Poussin. Like that's an example of how postmodernity is sort of like seeped into every facet of life. Now, the critique, of course, is like, do we really live in postmodernity? Do we live in hypermodernity? Is there like an extension of it? Like all these, in my opinion, all of these things are sort of very fluid and in together with each other. And to say like there was this point in time where we entered postmodernity as opposed to modernity, or like high modernity and low modernity, like, you know, higher or later modernity, right? Like there's not really a clear-cut distinction. There is, you could say, with modernism, where certain artistic and cultural and philosophic trends around the turn of the century basically culminated into what we know as modernism. But postmodernism is like one of those slippery things that, like, there was no like ground zero for postmodernism.
I was gonna ask Gio, is there any way to like,
yeah, go ahead, Ross.
to put a historical moment on it? Like,
okay, so that was cancer for me. If it was for you, I apologize. But like, you know, I feel like we gotta set this straight. This is some basic shit. Okay, well, so to understand postmodernism, you have to understand modernism, right? So, excuse me, I've been sick for like a week. Modernism, right, is the basic thought that if you work really hard at something, you'll reach enlightenment, right, at the end, right? And it's reflected in things like architecture, right? So, like, check this out right here. This is the Sears Tower. This is some modernist structure, right? And basically, see, it's fat at the bottom, point at the top, okay? Modernist ideology, right? Work really hard, and you can achieve success or enlightenment, as it is, right? And this, like the ages going back, it's postmodernism, modernism, romanticism, the Victorian age, the Enlightenment, the Renaissance, and the Dark Ages, and the times of Rome and antiquity, and things of this nature, right? So now, this here is modernism. This is postmodernism, okay? Postmodernism, right, really simply put, is, you know, I mean, you don't really have to have a direction. This comes out of the dropping of the atomic bomb, is where this begins at, all right? It's the principle, well, actually, it's World War I, World War II, men in the trenches getting slaughtered by heavy machinery, right? This began when soldiers on a battlefield stopped being, you know, I mean, chess pieces for a general to move around, right? Where, like, you know, you had like classical attack lines, you know, Cornwallis versus Washington, these type of things. Even before that, Napoleon, well, actually, Napoleon was after that. Even before that, the idea that you would line individuals up, you know what I mean, and have, you know, halberds and, you know, fucking different archers and, you know, swordsmen and cavalry and all these things on the battlefield. And it got turned into how many bodies can we throw into this? And, you know, I mean, how heavy of a meat grinder is this going to be? And then it turned into the atomic age where, like, yo, you had an entire generation of human beings doing bomb drills and hiding underneath their desks, knowing that any day could be their last. So therefore, the idea that you would work really, really hard and achieve enlightenment was a dumb idea because of the fact that you ended up with, you know, like having, you know, like the idea that like an atomic bomb could end your life at any given time, and there's nothing you could do about it, right? That's postmodernism, right? And we're moving into something new because the Gen X and the millennials never had a bomb drill, right? You know what I mean? Like they have no idea. Near Gen Z. So the boomers, as they die out, the reason for that dies out. And the new age is really beginning right now, right? And all of the narratives around all these things, and things like racism, sexism, homophobia, all the stuff, right, that gets tied in with the idea of Marxism and so postmodernism, right? This is just excuses as to why people don't care, right? This is excuses as to why individuals don't want to work hard and achieve shit, right? And this may seem like a completely foreign concept to a lot of people, but this is postmodernism in a nutshell. It's just the idea that hard work paying off is dumb because at any given time, you know, your life could be ended or you could be laid off of your job and replaced by a robot. Technology. Liberals have a hard time saying these things, right? You know, I mean, especially like these guys who don't know that they're liberal, right? You know, I mean, like they don't think of themselves as being liberal, but like if you believe in women's rights and you believe in like, democracy and you believe in like institutions and things of this nature, you're a liberal. Basically put. You know what I mean? But yo, look, this is Tom Pease with Pnoid News. Hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm gonna cut this one off here. Holla at your boy, man. Make sure you join the Discord, hit the Streamlabs, hit the Patreon, support the channel. Make sure you go watch a cartoon series. There's a playlist on the channel, man. Hit the button. Thank you, man. Later.